has been since I saw thee on Ilkla Moor Baht.
We're at Woodhenge, and that side of the road is Durrington Walls, so you know roughly where I am. Normally when I come to Woodhenge it's raining or snowing, but this time I thought, well, as I'm passing and it's dry, I'll call in. So, bit of a misnomer, Woodhenge. Yes, it's a henge. You can't see it now, most of it's disappeared. I'll show you in a minute. And it was built about the same time as Durrington Walls and Stonehenge. The people that lived at Durrington Walls and gathered here in winter solstices were probably the ones that built Stonehenge anyway. And they would have built this, I assume, ceremonial site for, I don't know, to service the camp. There are a lot of late Neolithic huts, settlements in Durrington Walls. So let's have a see what the English Heritage Lie panel says. You're standing at the entrance to a timber monument with 6 oval rings of posts, built about the same time as Stonehenge. The wooden posts were a variety of sizes, with those in the largest ring marked by red pillars, possibly standing up to 9 metres tall. Yeah, fair enough. From the depth they were sunk in. The oval rings were broadly aligned in the direction of midsummer sunrise and midwinter sunset, the same as Stonehenge. You may not be able to make out a low ditch and bank to your left and right. That's the remains of the henge. And 2 standing stones, probably saracens, were probably added to the monument. We don't know how it was used, but people placed many objects, animal bones, among the posts. There are actually 2 burials here, or there were 2 burials. One were found in the ditch, in the henge ditch, and the other one is a young child, about a 3-year-old child, were buried right in the centre of the, oh, it says there, centre of the henge, marked by a flint cairn. And it was the famous Cunninghams that excavated it. Maud and Benjamin Cunnington excavated the site, uncovering the post holes. They also did the same somewhere where we'll probably go later on, which is the sanctuary near West Kennett. Very, very similar layout, concentric rings of posts. Woodhenge, as it may have appeared, about 2500 BC. Yeah, it's a late Neolithic, Beaker people time, as evidenced by the grooveware that they found. Early Neolithic didn't make groove pottery. So it shows where we are. We're here at Woodhenge and Durrington Walls. Stonehenge is there. So what they're saying is the remains, the ashes, the roots from Durrington Walls were along the Avon, long way around, to the start of the avenue up to Stonehenge and the circus. So it's an area I know well and I've explored a lot, but always when it's been snowing or raining. So let's go have a look. Don't know whether you can see it, but there's a vague ditch running round. Yeah. I'll show you in a bit more detail. Yeah, it's been largely ploughed out, the henge part of it, the ditch part of it, just vague depressions now. So the posts represent where the timber posts were positioned, and the size of the concrete posts also represent this, the diameter of the timber posts that are inserted. So you can see the outer ones were fairly slim, what, 30 centimetre, 10, 20, maybe 40 centimetre diameter. These were, what, half a metre, these bigger ones, the next ring in. The next ring again, big ones, close on, well, over 750 millimetres, 75 centimetres, heading towards a metre. Then we go back down to thinner ones again, and another ring of a different size. Have we seen yellow ones? No, different, slightly different diameter, to back to blue ones. And this is the centre of the henge. So this marks the centre. And this, oh, there's no weird or wonderful offerings on it today. This is the cairn that marks where the child, the 3-year-old, were buried. Somebody's left flowers, fair enough, but I came here last time and there were doll heads on it and coins on it and all sorts of weird and wonderfuls. People do put decorated pebbles on and things like that, but it's their belief. Let them have it. Eccentrics rule the world sometimes. So, just quick panorama. As you can see, concentric rings all the way around. Now over there used to be an information tablet, but someone stole the brass plaque, and so some weird and wacky tree hugging ley liners put a piece of plastic there with their own interpretation on how it connected in with God knows what. Oh, but that's been taken down, thankfully. It talked about how your spirit were influenced by this and that and other, and yeah. But you get a good view of the henge, and as you can see, I don't know whether you can with GoPro, but just over there is the bank of Durrington walls. It's a super henge, one of the largest henges in the area. And as I say, inside were a lot of settlements. And I think it was Mike Parker Pearson, I'm not sure, who did excavations here and came up with a theory that I think he was the one that discovered the avenue down to the river and then back up from the river to Stonehenge. He came up with a theory that people gathered here because he found huge amounts of animal bones. So they gathered here for a big feast, a big celebration. And he is of the opinion that it were a midwinter celebration where the dead were remembered and the ashes of the dead were taken up to Stonehenge, which marks it again as a late Neolithic site, because early Neolithic practiced incarnation. Is it incarnation? Excarnation, where bodies were stripped of flesh, presumably by birds and animals, and then selective bones placed in a barrow, which we'll be going to later. A good example is West Cannet Long Barrow, chambered barrow. And you find that usually there's not a full body's worth of bones, but there are selected leg, arm, skull type collection of bones with some offerings. Well, I've actually gone round Woodhenge and I'm dry and not turning blue.